What is up, you guys? Raphaella Viola here, back from the dead once again. For those of you who used to follow me on my old channel under the same guise, you may have noticed I sort of disappeared without a trace. All my videos gone. And I will be making a video about why there's a little bit of drama. And yeah, but all y'all have to know is that I have moved again. I'm married now. Boop. And I have a kitten named Merlin. He's so derpy, and that's why we got him, because he was sticking his tongue out. You see yourself, honey? But anyway, whether you are new or old to my content, I will ask that you consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that notification bell if you like neckbeard stories or kind of cringecore stuff. That's my forte. So yeah, without further ado, let me dive into the story. This was my second time trying to attend the largest Christian university in the world, which I will not tell you the name of it, but I'm sure you can figure it out. So my spring semester, I had a group of friends, and the reason I kind of had a group of friends was because I was dating a guy that was kind of popular, I guess you could say. He was still a big dork, but he had a lot of friends and was very extroverted. Anyway, he got put on academic suspension, so I feel like none of those friends had any obligation to want to hang out with me anymore, so they didn't. So because I was lacking in the friend department, y'all will have to forgive me when I tell you that my first day of class in my computer 101 or something, accidentally sitting next to this guy. This guy had a very distinct appearance. He had a nice scruffy neck beard, as they do. Well, chef's kiss. He had a very swoopy looking haircut, and he actually had heterochromia, which is really funny to me because it's such a Mary Sue, Gary Stu thing or whatever, but he had like one brown eye and one blue or green, and like half of it was still kind of brown. It was very interesting. We're gonna call him ShadowBeard, and you guys will figure out why. The first red flag that should have gone off in my head was that he was not only on Reddit while we were supposed to be in class, but he was looking at like anime girls on Reddit. These anime girls weren't in the most savory poses. Depends on what you savor, I guess. We had this teacher who was always really anal about tiny things for such an easy class. Just really stupid things that like a 4-year-old should know by age 3. Not me making a JonTron reference again. ShadowBeard and I sort of found common ground in this, and we would talk about it between class or whatever when I would see him. Actually did see ShadowBeard in the Rot, which is the name for the cafeteria. He was with this group of friends, and one of those friends I am still friends with, and she is kind of the center of today's story, if you will. We're gonna call my friend Miranda. She was kind of hipster dressing at the time. Now she's a lot more alternative, but she was definitely like fashionable and artistic, and ShadowBeard just always seemed to suction himself to this girl. I did not really think about this. I didn't really think about any red flags going on until, of course, one morning. I noticed my friend Miranda sitting alone, and she's got this look of absolute terror on her face. She's holding her phone, and she's like, "You've got to see this." And I'm like, "What's wrong?" Miranda proceeds to play this audio of a voice that I recognize to be ShadowBeard.
Miranda, I listened to the song When You're Evil by Voltaire or whatever, and I'm transforming into the shadow version of myself. And I have a huge crush on you, but don't mention it or anything, because our love is a secret, and you have to confess your feelings for me. I mean him. Oh.
My impression doesn't really do it justice. He would fall in and out of this weird British accent, but he sounded like kind of a weird Sean Connery already. I didn't know what to say. Before I could even respond, as if on freaking cue, ShadowBeard walks up. Miranda is a little weirded out because this is the first time she's seeing him after this weird message was sent. So Miranda excuses herself to go get a bagel, which leaves me alone with ShadowBeard.
Raph, I have to tell you something, and you can't say a word.
What is it?
Last night well, you probably don't know this, but I have schizophrenia. Well, when I have schizophrenia, the dark shadow version of me starts to come out. I know this sounds crazy, but believe me, I spilled all my beans last night on Miranda.
What beans did you exactly spill?
Well, I know you've probably figured it out, but I'm in love with Miranda. I love everything about her. She could run through the woods with me and run through the dirt. And oh, her booty is in an aberration.
Oh, he said this and I'm trying so hard to repeat it. So I was in shock, obviously. I can't believe that within a matter of him just sitting down, he decided to spill all of this to me. And he's just begging me, don't tell her. And I'm like, homie, you sent the message. Eventually, Miranda came back to the table and he kind of shut up about the subject. We're talking about volunteering because you have to put in a certain amount of volunteer hours to graduate at this school. ShadowBeard says something along the lines of this.
You know, I was thinking it would be funny to be a girl for Halloween, but maybe I could borrow one of your bras and then I could have fake boobs.
Didn't know what to say to this man at this point. I mean, he was trying to take our bras. I don't know why I thought that this would solve our problem. I mean, it sort of did. I figured if I could just get ShadowBeard to just confess to Miranda and she could reject him, that things would just go back to normal. I started to kind of ask ShadowBeard, are you planning on telling Miranda how you feel eventually?
Yes, but what if she rejects me?
Rejection's part of life. Sometimes it sucks, but at least you know and you can move on with your life instead of obsessing over it. Having those conversations like at midnight sometimes, because ShadowBeard would just call me at midnight and rant about his love for Miranda, and I would just tell him, just tell her how you feel. Just tell her. Let her reject you already. And I didn't say that because I was like, I think it's Miranda's place to say something. He would leave me voice messages.
I think the Lord created the moon for me and Miranda. If only Miranda would look at the same moon as I and realize that we're meant to be together. I love Miranda.
Eventually, he just decided that he was going to tell Miranda how he felt. Needless to say, Miranda did not feel the same. And from that moment on, he would act weird. At first, he tried to shower both Miranda and I with presents. He also tried to buy chocolate for my boyfriend at the time. Quirky. Miranda and I just said we don't want any gifts. We just don't want any of this stuff. Work on yourself. Go get therapy. You need it.
No, I don't need therapy. Therapy doesn't work on a dark mind like mine.
So he just said no. We said we couldn't hang out with him anymore because he wasn't taking care of himself. Eventually, whenever he saw us on campus, which we weren't on bad terms even, he just he would see us from 10 feet away and run with all his neckbeard might away from us. Which, I mean, all's well that ends well, honestly. I mean, this is probably the happiest one of my stories has ended. Neckbeard left us alone in the end. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure, once again, I'm going to remind you, please, hit that subscribe bell. I almost said subscribe bell. Hit the subscribe button and the bell. They're two different things. Leave a comment below and let me know, have you ever experienced any weirdness with someone similar? And if y'all also want to like this video, because I just realized this is covered in my cat's hair, that'd be gnarly, because I put that on my head. Anyways, guys, until next time, may the force prosper. Thank you. Bye.